So, everyone's going mad within the GameStop scene. Now, I've obviously talked about this for a while now. I kind of am interested in sometimes talking about stocks and other things other than gaming. It gets quite boring talking about that all the time. However, none of this stuff I say is financial advice. That's obvious. None of this stuff I say it's more than maybe my own opinion and other people's opinions that I'm reading out. Now, what do I think of what's going on? Now, obviously, I've already talked about the fact that, Deep Value, Roaring Kitty is getting sued for securities fraud. Now, I don't know if there's any more. I haven't seen any or much more added to that. A few tweets were yesterday. I don't know what's going on in that. We probably won't hear anything else for that for a long time. Now, there's some more big news that's come out now. Now, this may affect GameStop's future. I don't know. Now, I don't know exactly what Roaring Kitty is doing here or what's going at play, but I guess we'll see very soon what is actually going on in the picture. Now, it was reported, and it was filed anyway, that someone put out a breaking. Dear Keith Gill, a.k.a. Roaring Kitty, a.k.a. Deep Fucking Value of GameStop. GameStop frame files a SEC 13G for Chewy. Chewy for 9 million shares, or 6.6% of the company. At the top of the filing, he checks the box saying he is not a cat. Oh yeah, that is quite funny. Names of reporting persons, Keith Gill. Check appropriate box of a member of group. Use only, citizenship, voting, name of issuer, Chewy Inc. Now, what exactly is going on at play? Because a bunch of people are coming out and saying he sold his GameStop shares, GameStop is over, this and this. Now, he may have sold his GameStop shares. This is a pretty scary thing in a way. Now, does that mean he's done with GameStop? Who actually knows? GameStop hasn't took a huge hit. It's definitely, I think it was open, it was at $25 or something like that. I think it was open, it was like $24. It's dropped to a low of $22.37, and it's kind of hovering around the $23 mark. It's dropping up and down. Now, if we look at the Chewy share price, Chewy is currently floating between $25 right now. Isn't seeing much momentum. Although in the past day, it was actually trading about $27 for this entire week. And it reached a high of $34 on Monday, just before sort of thing. I'm guessing then this is when this information sort of came out. People started buying into it. Now, what do I think will happen to Chewy? What is the future of GameStop as well? And has he really sold his GameStop shares to buy into this? Now, there are a lot of theories on this, some conspiracy theories. He hasn't been very vocal over the past. Well, he hasn't been very vocal at all with what he's doing within his portfolio, and I'm not blaming him. You don't have to be that vocal about your portfolio. I don't think he's very vocal about it as well because he doesn't want to be classed as manipulating. Again, if he's got lawsuits like this that are coming after him, it's not a great look if he just starts making it look manipulative. So, what do I think he's done? And do I think, again, the future of GameStop is gone? Or do I see them buying Chewy? Now, Chewy was owned by, I think they sold it. I think it was owned by the current CEO of GameStop, Ryan. Obviously, I think he sold it on for a few billion to PetSmart. And now PetSmart actually own Chewy. Now he owns 6.6% of the company, which I think he owns. I think 9 million shares did. I don't know if he sold. That's what a lot of people are speculating. Did he sell? Now, here's my theory on this. Now, this is just a theory. I think he lied about when he sold his calls. Now, the weird thing is he wasn't really showing you. Now, you can edit and make it look like that. you can either take a screenshot or you can show an inspect element. And he maybe sold them before the live stream, created an inspect element to make it look like he still had them. And he may have done that so he could still bind GameStop and stuff like that. That's what I think. I think he still owns GameStop shares, but he kind of lied about where he sold his calls. He said it was rumored that he sold his calls at a huge loss, I think for some 100 million. I don't think he did that at all. Now remember, I think it was close to $1 billion, like 600, 700 million he had from that whole thing, from the calls. You know, he made quite a shit ton of money when it bounced up to like 60. I think he sold at that mark. I think he got rid of them calls, and he got rid of them calls at that mark. But he didn't say anything because he knew maybe that GameStop would take a huge hit. Now let's just say this is true and he has sold his GameStop shares. What do I think is the future of GameStop? Or does he not see the management at GameStop doing very well? As we all know, they had their shareholder meeting and they pretty much didn't say anything sort of promising. In fact, they said it was okay, but obviously they just said, well, we're cutting more corners, we're selling more stores. Does Roaring Kitty, deep fucking value, not see the potential in GameStop? Is that what he's trying to say by buying Chewy if he sold his GameStop shares? Now, this may be blowing out of proportion. It may not sold, and he may have more fucking money than people say he does. You know, again, this guy, I think, has been making plays with multiple other stock. Heck, he might have made plays with NVIDIA as well. I don't think GameStop is the only stock he's been making plays with over this past few years. I just don't see why that would work out. I think he's been playing with other stocks. He's had them in the background. That's it. This makes sense. And he's only showing the portfolio that, well, he wants people to see, which is his GameStop portfolio, the portfolio that he's kind of been showing for the past so many years. Now, is this the end of GameStop if he has sold? Who actually knows? I know GameStop has had its thriving share in the past so many months. It's reached twice in the past 2 months, has reached a high of $60. I think, you know, it's not gotten past that $80 share price yet. Now, do I think this could be the end of GameStop? Who actually knows? There's not much on it, and, well, this sort of information, I think, is making people sell GameStop. The GameStop prices, it kind of fluctuated I'm guessing that as soon as this news properly came out. It's currently trending on Twitter, I think, or X, as you want to call it. It currently says 25,000 posts. So clearly, people are actually sort of eyeing up. Did Roaring Kitty actually sell his? Did Roaring Kitty sell his shares, or did he lie? Again, I do think he lied about selling them calls. I think he sold them calls a lot fucking earlier than he said he did. Or, well, he didn't actually say officially that he sold them. But he kind of gave people a lot more confidence, like, oh my god, this guy's just lost a lot of money, blah, blah. I don't think he did. I think he sold way away. Now, I've heard rumours over the past fucking few months that GameStop is going to have a big squeeze and it could get past the $100 mark. Again, anything is possible. It's obviously not financial advice, this, and take everything that anyone says about a stock with a grain of salt unless they have insider information, which is probably everyone in Congress. However, who knows? Who knows if he did? Again, he hasn't made any official statement. I don't think he's going to make any official statement on what's going on. If it is rumoured and come out that he actually has sold his GameStop, I've heard a few people say that his play might be to pretty much try and make some money from, if let's just say he has sold his GameStop shares, to buy or run it up, because Chewy, I think, has had a high of like $40 or something like that. run Chewy up a little bit. Maybe add some calls to that as well. Run it up a bit, get it going a little bit, and sell that and buy into GameStop when it's a cheaper price, or buy calls on GameStop when it's a cheaper price. Now, I don't know. I don't know if he's sold or not. That's a sort of a conspiracy people are going on. I mean, Twitter's going mad. Is GameStop going to be a bullish or abandoned baby pattern right after the 50? In my opinion, the Kansas City Shuffle is currently at play. Deep fucking value is up tens of million on Chewy while everyone is looking at it. Chewy is a sale on GameStop. My GameStop senses are tingling, and I think deep fucking value will soon increase his GME position. Now, he may end up putting more calls down. I think he's probably waiting. I think he wants it to go down to the $20 mark because that's when he put his last calls on for. Who knows? But I think maybe that's what he's waiting for. He's trying to make it drop in any way, shape, or form. Well, I don't think he's going to buy 9 million shares for GameStop to drop, but he's wanting it to drop as well. You know, again, he can put more calls on GameStop and kind of make a shit ton of money. Now, I do think this whole thing, I have no idea what's going on. More of this stuff has been sort of shed in the light. GameStop, again, it's not really been doing well in the past week. In fact, it's kind of been all over the place. GameStop, I think ever since it reached the height of $63, it's been stagnant. It's been dead in the water. It hasn't moved much. It hasn't moved at all, to be honest with you. It's been very stagnant of how it's moving, and in the past sort of 2 weeks, it was at $20. You know, it had a week where it just stagnated around $20, $28, $29, and then boom, it's just over the past 2 weeks been floating around $24, $25. It's dropped below $22. It hasn't really had a big move pattern. Now, I don't know what that means. It hasn't had a big drop pattern even. So this could mean that something's coming with GameStop, or it could mean that it's a dead nail. It's gone completely. I have not a clue, to be honest with you. Who really knows? And again, if he has sold his positions at GameStop, I don't want to know the future of GameStop. I think a lot of people are going to fucking sell off their Chewy shares and are going to go straight into Chewy. Sell off their GameStop shares and go straight into Chewy. That's what I think anyway. Now, I do think he was bullshitting. I have a feeling anyway that he was bullshitting about when he sold his calls. I think he sold his calls when it hit around when it was at the highest price. I think he sold. That's what I do. I think he sold, so he had all that cash right there. That's what I think, and he bought some GameStop shares, but he also has been eyeing up Chewy for quite some time. That's what I think. Either that, or he's completely abandoning GameStop, and he just doesn't see, and he knows something clearly is not really going well with the management, and the management is just god-awful with how it's going at GameStop. You know, he thinks that they won't end up doing anything good with that $4 billion cash that they've raised. And he thinks that they're just not going to end up doing anything well. And GameStop isn't really going to see a big movement pattern with anything, the whole company as a whole. Either that, or he just sees more faith in Chewy. I don't really know. There's not much coming out. A lot of people are getting a little bit scared. I guess rightfully so. I mean, if this comes out as true and he did sell his GameStop shares, this will probably be quite a fair bit of tank. Who knows? I don't know, man. It's a bit of a shame. What is going on here? I think if he did sell his shares, this is not going to. Oh man, this is not going to run everything. I don't really know, man. I really don't know. I'm more in the thing to think that he didn't sell, and he was lying about when he exercised his calls because it would just tank the stock completely. Again, however, he's been putting out tweets in the past few weeks, and they really haven't had much effect on the stock at all. Now, do I see what's going on in the future of GameStop? I don't know. No one can really tell. It's between it's going to fucking fail or it's just going to just stay how it is, and there's not really going to be much movement. Who actually knows what is the play plan at GameStop? Again, it could shoot up. It could die down. I think a lot of people just sat there sort of waiting on what's to actually come from this thing. But if it's true that he has sold, then, man, that's probably going to lose a lot of faith in GameStop, and people are just not really going to have a lot of faith, and they're going to move to Chewy. Unless he's trying to shuffle people around and get rid of the fake people. I don't know. But do I see a lot of in GameStop? I know people have been saying about this MOAS for a while, the massive vast fucking squeeze. I don't really know. Superstonk is pretty much the Reddit where they do all this bullshit of, bringing up these sort of things. Now, I don't know. A bunch of people have kind of see why deep fucking value didn't. Someone put on speculation opinion. Let's have a look. Chewy swaps. For the past 2 years, Chewy trades around 37 to 30. On July, like clockwork, Chewy share buyback was announced. Not last week. The price jump last week was disconnected from any real news because it's on a round trip back to $38. Now apply that T35 to the buyback announcement and you get July 3rd. Add in Roaring Kitty taking a massive stake, plus retail, FOMO. Everyone's settlement is going to have a bad time. Dog emoji was Chewy. Flag is 4th of July, changing in colour. Oh, man. Do you really think he's swapped it? He's sort of finessed his communities. I mean, that emoji kind of made me. I was looking at the Chewy stock and I was like, this guy's swapped us, isn't he? He's like, yeah, GameStop, fuck that. Either that or I don't really know. It's one of them confusing things. Like, did he? Again, it brings me back to, did he lie about when he's exercised his calls? And he exercised them a lot earlier. If not, he had to assault his GameStop share, unless he's been making shit tons of cash on the side on other stocks and playing on other things. Or maybe he's been in Chewy for quite a long time. Who knows? Again, he's been very quiet, and I don't really actually see him saying anything. If he does announce this, it's probably bad news for GameStop, in my opinion. Very bad news for GameStop. I don't see GameStop doing very well at all. Because if he has sold, this is going to tank GameStop. I'm going to say down to about maybe less than $10. Who knows? That's not financial advice. That's in an extreme case. I think we're probably going to see at around the $15 to $18 mark if it does anything really happens. I think a lot of people aren't going to back out of GameStop because they have a feeling that Roaring Kitty may end up pushing back into GameStop. But bear in mind, a lot of this shit is from the Superstonk Reddit. I wouldn't exactly believe that shit first offhand. Sold GameStop is FUD. All these comments about deep fucking value selling GameStop, GME for Chewy is just FUD. These bots and trolls, ignore them. No way he would do that. And for what? Does Chewy have a growth potential of GameStop? Do they have $4 billion fuck you money? He probably figured out the algo and also knew a run up to Chewy was coming. The share offering was was pure luck, and also the algo helped him pushing Chewy when he posted the dog emoji. Now he's sitting at 9 million shares. To the toll hedges and to fuck you XRP, where Chewy is heavily weighed in. Don't forget, this is the guy who was a billionaire for a day out of a 50k investment. He probably did something similar with Chewy like he did with GameStop in May. Yeah, that might be true. Again, I don't really know. I do think he sold. I think he sold his. I think he did sell his exercises calls a lot earlier and buy into Chewy. That's my opinion on this whole thing. I mean, Chewy, where is Chewy? Let's have a look at the. Now, again, not financial advice, obviously. I have to keep saying that because some people do look at anything as financial advice online. It's not. So, Chewy's price, let's just go on over the past month. It hit a high of $32. So, it's kind of being stagnant. In fact, in before in May, it was hovering around the $15 mark. No, it and in April it was around the sort of $20 mark, I think. So it's all over the place. Oh, Chewy, this is shares, race gains. I don't know, man. I don't know if is he leaving? Is he sold? Has he got water hands? Is he getting he's getting fever? Is he getting a bit of FOMO? He's like, oh no, I see Chewy doing more potential. Who knows? Either that or he's trying to make some more cash, gather some more cash, or wait for a price to go down on GameStop. Again, I think there might be something coming up with GameStop, and I think he knows that, and that's what he's trying to do. It's all speculation. It's all my opinion and other people's opinions. I do think what's going on is a little bit weird, but I guess we'll see what will happen in the coming week or days, to be more specific. I don't know. Maybe something's exciting's happening. Who actually knows?